Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna give you guys the exact step-by-step process I would follow if I wanted to become a closer in 2024. And if somebody paid me thousands of dollars for a one-on-one coaching session to teach them how to become a high-ticket remote closer, this is exactly what I would tell them. And by the way, guys, if you're new here, my name is Rome, like the city, and I've personally closed over $9 million in high-ticket sales, and I've also trained and placed hundreds of closers in 7, 8, and even 9-figure businesses over the last 2 years through my agency. So I know exactly what's working in the industry on a day-to-day basis. And my goal with this channel is to shut down all the gurus in this space and make closing accessible for everybody. Because this was the very same opportunity that changed my life just a few years ago. So if I was starting out from ground zero with zero experience or connections, what's the first thing that I would do to start making money as a remote closer? Find mentors. I would focus on finding the right mentors. Trust me when I say this, you will literally save hundreds of hours, even years by doing this. And that's because having somebody who's been in the game for years and has taught countless others can help you avoid all the possible mistakes you're gonna be making as a beginner. Take Warren Buffett, for example. Before he became the Oracle of Omaha, he was just a young, hungry investor looking for guidance. And where did he turn? To Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing. Buffett didn't just sit back and soak up the knowledge. He rolled up his sleeve and worked for Graham for free. But how do you find these mentors? First, look for someone who's not just successful, but also willing to share their wisdom. I mean, pretty obvious, but the most important thing is that they should be ahead of you in the game and have a proven track record. Usually, they tend to have either case studies or success stories on their public profiles. And guys, do not limit yourself to your immediate surroundings, right? Although you can find somebody in your local community, most mentors can be found online or through personalized programs and paid communities. Once you've identified your potential mentor, it's time to make your move. You can take the Buffett approach and offer something for free, proving your worth through hard work and dedication and getting the chance to work with them. Or take it to another level and find a more unique way to grab their attention by already putting in some work for them, like writing some sales copy for them or generating a bunch of leads for them. Now, of course, you can just also take the fastest path, which is just join any paid program that has a proven track record, right? That these influencers might offer, or these coaches, which is what I would personally recommend. This is the easiest because most mentors just don't simply have the time to take on students without a return on their time. And if you just simply pay them what they're worth, they'll be willing to devote their resources into making sure you succeed. Now, even after you manage to find a good mentor, there's still plenty of work to do. What you need to do now is to surround yourself with as many people as possible in the industry. Specifically, you want to make sure that you're surrounding with people who are at the same level as you are, as well as other business owners who are in your industry. And here's why. Imagine two guys, okay? One is a hustler, hustles and grinds for 12 hours a day, but does it all alone. And the other guy, although not as experienced, works alongside other closers and business owners as a part of a community. Eventually, what will happen is that the second guy over here will take over the first one, even if he initially sucked. But why is that? Well, when you work with others, not only do you get useful insights from each other about what's working, what's not, but also learn from each other's mistakes. So rather than just making your own mistakes, you can quite literally quintuple your learning rate by just surrounding yourself with 4 more closers who are making mistakes along the way. But it's not just learning. One of the hardest things about starting any new venture is actually being able to stay on track and stick to the process. I've seen so many guys try to be the lone wolf, trying to do everything on their own. But more often than not, they just end up quitting or seeing no results because they have no idea if they're doing it right or wrong, right? They don't have the right people in the support system around them to correct them, to applaud them. And finally, being around these people will help you identify opportunities that you wouldn't be able to do it on your own. For example, many community members often tend to share leads, job postings, and can even act as referrals if you're actually good, which creates a constant stream of potential deals for you. But the thing is this, everything we just described can only be achieved by joining a valuable community. and not just any random group. Because believe me, there are a lot of groups out there, but not all of them are worth your time. So here's what I would do if I was trying to find a valuable community. Number one, go to Facebook and literally search remote closing on Facebook group sections. You're gonna find a lot of them. Some of them are open, some of them are private, and some of them are gonna have like screening questions on like why you're joining, if you're a closer, you're a potential client. Just be honest with your intentions and they'll let you in. And truth be told, you won't actually know what's a good community and what's a bad community unless you actually go in and try yourself and spend some time there. So don't be afraid to dip your toes in, just be active there for a few days. See what they're all about before either moving on or sticking with them. And just keep on repeating this process till you find a group of valuable individuals to learn from. People that you vibe with, right? This should be fun. Another thing that you can do if you want to speed up the process, you can actually message these people on the group, right? That people who are actually active on their group. You'll see on the page, people posting, message them, hey, I'm new here. I just want to get to know a little bit more about you and experience. That way you'll have a little bit more insight and who you're really going to be working with. So yeah, asking about their experience, or better yet, even asking about other communities that they actually might recommend for you. But what's next? Now let's just say that you find the best mentor, all right? You've joined the best community and you're even surrounded by the most amazing closers. There's still going to be one very crucial thing that you're going to be missing, which will set you apart from the average closer and one of the best high-ticket closers out there. And that is an actual framework that you can learn in order to sell and close deals. And I'm not just talking about any framework, but a bulletproof framework that has proven to work. So you're not wasting your time trying to close deals with a shitty sales process and a script. Now, notice I said framework, not script. This is because after training and placing hundreds of sales reps, I can confidently say that trying to memorize a script is the fastest way to guarantee you'll close no deals. All right, sales is a two-way street, a dance if you will. All right, it takes two to tango. Right, you're not talking to a wall trying to convince them to give you their money. You're there to help solve your prospects' problems and change their lives, okay? The moment they feel like you're trying to read off a rehearsed script, it's not gonna sound natural anymore. So you're gonna come off as scripted and people can sniff that from a mile away, okay? And if you're constantly thinking about what you're gonna say next without listening to your prospect, you're simply not gonna close any deals because you're not present in the conversation, right? A good framework will allow you to use high-level strategies while still having a natural conversation, allowing you to close predictably and consistently without the prospect feeling that they're being sold to. Remember this, guys, he who hides the sales process the best wins. With that being said, I have a framework that has worked time and time again for not just myself, but everybody who I've taught this to. You can find it on my channel. I have a full step-by-step breakdown on how to use it. And it's all this framework is really about what is it doing? I'll give you guys like a brief high-level overview is that you're trying to understand where they are, right? What they're doing, their pains in their life, and understanding where they're trying to go, their goals, their desires, right? And why is it so important for them? And if somebody says, I want to make $10,000 a month, that's their goal, that's not enough. Money is a tool to get them to where they want to go. And the moment that you figure that out, you're in the money. So once you figure out where they are, where they want to go, in the framework, you can understand what's been holding them back all this time from getting to their goals. Once you figure that out, now it's time for you to give them a tailored solution that's going to bridge that gap from where they are to where they want to be. And if you do that properly and you build enough trust, you're gonna make a lot of money. Now, with this framework in hand, you're gonna be able to go quite far, but this is only half the puzzle. You still need to put in a lot of reps to truly master this framework. And the best way to do this is by finding spar partners or others to practice with. When you're starting out, your friends and family members are gonna be great for practice. And remember those communities I talked about? They're a fantastic place to find such partners, with some groups specifically focused on role playing. And by the way, guys, I've also got a free role play review guide. Just hit me up on my Instagram with a message saying role play guide, and I'll send it over just to make sure you guys are doing your role plays correctly and a guide for you to make sure you're on the right track. Now, over time, after you implement everything I just went through, you're actually going to start improving. Here's the thing though, being good at sales is nice and all, but what's really gonna get you hired is trust. And the best way to do this is to start by building relationships with people in the industry that you actually want to close for. You can pretty much think of trust as the currency of the sales world. Without it, landing quality offers becomes an uphill battle for most people, okay? And I mean, just think about it for a second. Picture yourself as a business owner. Would you really trust your business and your hard-earned leads with a stranger who cold pitched you or sends you a DM on Instagram? Or with somebody that you actually know, like, and trust? The answer is pretty obvious. The truth is, 90% of businesses with good offers hire almost exclusively through the network or through agencies with a good track record. So, the smartest way to get noticed in the industry is to connect with those who are already making waves, guys. This can be a mentor, somebody on Instagram or YouTube who talks about remote closing, or it can be an entrepreneur who sells info products. By the way, when you message them, this is a pro tip for you guys, make sure you compliment them first and show some appreciation to the value that they're giving. But here's the key. Don't pitch them right away. Okay, don't pitch them on becoming a closer if you don't have experience, especially. Your goal here is to build a relationship. So after you DM them, simply engage with their content and just come across as this chill, intelligent person over the course of a few weeks or even a few months. And yes, this is gonna take some time. And yes, this doesn't mean that they'll automatically work with you just because they like you, because all it takes is one of these guys to take a chance on you and you're set. Now, of course, like I said, you could fast track this trust building process by simply joining a program or paid communities that has a solid reputation of training and placing sales reps, right? Because now you actually have skin in the game and people will actually take you seriously, right? That's because the people who run these programs usually have an agency or service of some sort that places sales reps with these high quality offers. And if you want help with something like this, just shoot me a DM on Instagram and we can chat. Now, the last thing I want to share is something that is quite overlooked, yet absolutely crucial if you really want to make it in high ticket sales or any industry for that matter. And the reason I left it for the end is because nobody likes to talk about it. It's not fun. It's not sexy, but it's probably the single most important thing that has helped me push through countless roadblocks and pretty much catapulted me in my sales journey. What I'm talking about here is personal development. And I'm not just talking about reading self-help books or attending seminars, because anybody can do that. I'm talking about evolving your mindset, honing in on your emotional intelligence, and fostering resilience. You see, the journey to becoming a top closer is much more than just evolving your mindset and emotional intelligence, as it is about mastering sales techniques. When you're dealing with objection after objection, rejection after rejection, day in and day out, you need to have that mental fortitude to stay composed and to remain focused on the prospect rather than yourself. The best closers in the world are those who understand themselves deeply, their strengths, their weaknesses, triggers, and motivations. This self-awareness allows you to connect with your client on a much more genuine level, navigate through objections more effectively, and maintain your composure in high-stakes negotiations. It's not enough to just understand the importance of personal growth. You need to actively integrate it into your daily routine. Start off by setting clear goals for both professional and personal. What I would do is, if I were you, I'd write down at least 10 goals that you want to accomplish in the next 12 months. What does life look like? Write it down. What does life actually look like once it's been accomplished? Visualize that every morning and night. Visualize the person you aspire to be, the ideal closer who effortlessly sees deals and exudes with confidence. Then ask yourself, when conducting a task, how would the ideal self do this? When stuck in making decisions, what would the ideal self do? A great philosopher once said, "You are what you repeatedly do." And by embodying this new version of yourself, you'll start to see real transformations and actually become what you envision. And let me be clear, challenges and setbacks are inevitable and the road ahead is hard, right? It's the path less traveled, but it's how you respond to these challenges that truly matter. And for all of that, you'll need to adopt a growth mindset, embrace failures as opportunities for growth, and believe in your capacity to evolve and improve, right? You have to have this delusional self-belief that you're worth a lot more. Always remember, failure leaves clues and success leaves clues as well. My mentor told me this from day one, and it still sticks with me every single day. Every time a failure happens, instead of being upset about it, I just have a different perspective. Like, what is this really teaching me? For you to succeed, guys, you gotta remember, you gotta fail a lot. because only through failures you learn, right? Nobody tells you this. And this mindset will be basically your friend, your ally in overcoming these inevitable challenges and obstacles on your path to success. When faced with a challenge, with an obstacle, don't fall into self-doubt. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to become stronger and more resilient? Because, and I'll talk about self-doubt quickly here for a second. I asked my mentor once, how do I overcome self-doubt? He's like, you don't. Like, what do you mean? He said, I have self-doubt all the time, but I barely ever remember I have self-doubt. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, because I always take massive action every single day, because that is what actually diminishes your self-doubt. It's not about getting rid of your self-doubt. You can't, but you can diminish it by taking massive action every single day. And that's a secret sauce that changed my life, by the way. But not only that, you guys also need to practice mindfulness and self-care. High ticket sales can be very stressful, and incorporating mindful practices and prioritizing your self-care will help you maintain your mental health and improve your overall performance. And most importantly, if you want to maximize your personal development, you need to actively seek feedback and reflect on every encounter, every call, and every client that you close or you fumbled. All right. And one thing that I do as well that helped me immensely through my personal growth journey, and not a lot of people do this, and most of you probably won't. Every night before going to bed, I have my journal right next to my bed, and I write down at least like, what did I learn today? What gave me the most stress today? Right? What am I grateful for? And the reason why I do that is because we're humans, we forget, right? And so when I wake up the next morning, I read, what did I learn yesterday? What stressed me out yesterday? And then I'm conscious of that the whole day, and I'm taking my lessons from yesterday and applying it the next day. And then I do a weekly reflection. And then I do a monthly reflection. That's how I level up and 10x my growth every single month faster than everybody, because I make sure not to make the same mistake twice. Now, by including personal development with your sales journey, you're not just becoming a better closer, you're becoming a better version of yourself. One who excels in not only sales, but every aspect of your life. If you follow everything that I talked about, I don't have a shadow of a doubt in my mind that you'll become a top closer. But that's the thing, not everybody made it to this point, and only a few of you who did will actually go out there and take action. So if you're one of the few people who made it this far and you're actually serious about making it in high ticket sales, I have a full free training video where I break down exactly how to execute on every single step I went through in this video in more detail, which you can check out over here, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.